Hey guys, thanks a lot for tuning in, and thanks a lot for subscribing. I just checked my YouTube page and saw that I now have 616th subscribers, and as every Marvel head knows, this number has a special meaning in the Marvel universe, and so it's a Marvel multiverse, and Earth 616 is the main continuity. This is where all our favorite stories of the past 50 or 60 years have happened. So I had this idea of doing a little special on a Marvel comic or a Marvel run that I have a fondness for, and I'm right now in the middle of the Fantastic Four, written by Jonathan Hickman. He had a very complex run over, I think, two series, Fantastic Four and FF, which were running at the same time, or were released at the same time. And this went for a few years, not exactly sure, I think 2009 till 2012 or 12 to 14. Whatever, look it up. It's not important. It's a modern run. And it's collected into omnibuses. I read the first one. I'm in the middle of the second one. Sadly, the first one is out of print. So I'm hoping for, or maybe there are even like complete editions or any way to buy this in softcover. But I have to say that those are really nice omnibuses because they're not very thick. Yes, they're still heavy, but you can handle them. And the art is very comic-y, but it's also really nice. Most of the stuff is drawn by Steve Epting, who you may know from his run on Captain America with Ed Brubaker. And yeah, it's really nice. Very colorful, very bright. And very classic in a way. So this is a classic superhero story. And why is it a classic? And why is it maybe one of the best stories ever released by Marvel Comics? And maybe even the very best run Fantastic Four ever had. Let's go back to how the Fantastic Four started. So before Fantastic Four, before the reinvention of Marvel Comics or timely comics, there was only the cape. So we knew there was Superman, there were Batman, Flash, and so on. There were mainly the superheroes, and their alter egos existed. There was a Clark Kent and a Bruce Wayne, but they were so superficially written, so underwritten in a way, so non-humane. That they didn't feel like real characters. So this is where Marvel stepped in and said, well, let's just do people being superheroes, but also being people, like having everyday problems and relationship problems and whatever. And the Fantastic Four are the prototypical atomic family. Were not quite prototypical. They started as 4 grown-ups and then 2 kids joined them. Valeria and Franklin, the children of Reed Richards and Susan Richards. But yeah, there were 4 people, and they very much represented the suppressed family of the 50s, which breaks free, which goes into space and gets changed. And all of a sudden they have those great superpowers, and have to deal with it. But even like the first story of the Fantastic Four, it's they're doing something. They have an intention. It's not they. It's mostly Reed Richards, who wants to do something, to explore something, and then a different thing happens to them. They get somehow punished for being so bold. And in a way, this is still the story of the Fantastic Four. In here, it still deals with Reed Richards trying to do something good, to improve everything. And this intention of his gets twisted into something very dangerous and very, very, very negative. A big threat, with is not only a threat to him, his family, but to, of course, the whole Earth, maybe even the whole multiverse. So this is what I like about the Marvel storytelling, or the more modern superheroes that started in the 60s, and I can't go back behind that. I have no fondness for Golden Age stuff. I don't get why people buy those omnibuses, because the stories are so... I mean, I can look at the pictures and it's kind of fun, but there is nothing there. And with Marvel, also like with Spider-Man, you have like this young kid who wants something, but then something different happens, and this turns out to be really bad, but it also has a very important influence upon his life, and then he has to take care also of his aunt and this and that. So there are many things that one person or a group of person have to handle, have to deal with. And Hickman understood this Marvel secret, and he maximized it to an incredible space opera slash family story, in which so many parties are present, and they want many different things, from little things which happen inside the family, the relationship towards which they have towards each other, to big influences from the Negative Zone and the Kree Empire and the Inhumans, and the Mole Man wants this and Doctor Doom wants that, and everything. It's like a little wonder somehow falls into this thing and goes forward, and it never stops. So it's a very successful modern superhero epic, and it is clever in that it doesn't fall into the trap of just having this very clever meta story told through superheroes. I mean, there is something to it. So you can't really ignore the costumes and the superpowers, and you still enjoy the comic. So there is this aspect that we know from, I don't know, Watchmen, for example, where you talk about something which is important to you as an author, like absolute power and how it corrupts everyone. But you could do it in a different setting too. But this takes the superhero environment really seriously, and there are many fantastical and quasi scientifical and also philosophical questions which deal with technology and the concepts of reality and so on, which are interwoven with the fantastical and the more fantasy-like aspects of superhero stories, but in such a charming way. And this is the thing that surprised me. I never read Hickman before, and he can really do those little moments too, where it's just a funny joke. It's just a little thing that you know from your own family life, or it's a heartbreaking moment when things that looked very certain and were a given, things which deal with love, trust, and so on, are all of a sudden questioned. So it's all in here. It's a very complete work by his, and I've read some other things by Hickman since. Not completed anything, but sampled a lot of stuff, and I haven't found the deepness and the sheer joy that I have found in his Fantastic Four. And I really urge you to check out this modern saga. Whether you like superheroes or not, the only person I think he's comparable with would be Grant Morrison, who can do like this from small to big and conceptual stuff. But Hickman is a more, I wouldn't say reactionary guy, but it's just a more concise guy. Where Grant Morrison just goes off into the crazy, which I love, and the psychedelic and the mystical. He always stays on point, and yeah, it's just a modern saga, and I can't imagine how the Avengers run afterwards can top this, but I will definitely read it. And if you want to check out good superhero stories written in the past decade or so, this is the comic for you. Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for commenting. Of course, I couldn't say everything that I think about it. There's so much more in here, but it's not structured. But yeah, maybe we can have a further discussion in the comments. Until then, have a nice, marvelous day, and see you soon. Bye-bye.